Hello, everyone. During this time of government issued quarantine and isolation, I wanted to try and find something different to do to bring the word to people so that even though we feel very isolated right now, a lot of us, and separated from each other physically, I wanted to try and find some way to bring us together. And so what I'm going to be doing is posting every couple days, every 2 or 3 days, I'm going to be posting a short little devotional for everyone. I've already posted one the other day. And after the first one, I started thinking more about this. And my mind went back to something that happened a long time ago when our country was in a different type of crisis. Actually, 2 different types of crises. One was in the 30s, in the Great Depression, and the other was in the early 40s and mid-40s during World War II. And during those times, a lot of you aren't old enough to remember unless you were really awake in your history classes. During those times, our president, President Roosevelt, actually over 30 times, he spoke to the nation. And this was back in a day when not a lot of people had TVs. And so what they would do is they would gather around their radios and listen. And some of the homes might have had fireplaces. And these talks that President Roosevelt gave comforted the nation, and it brought them together. It gave them a sense of unity together. And those talks became known as the Fireside Chats. And so, through the miracle of modern technology, I have a fire. And so I'm calling these little devotionals, at least for a while here, I'm going to do these devotionals in this style and just call them Fireside Devotionals. So here we go. The first one for today comes from the book of Psalm 28. And this is a prayer for help David has written and prayed out. In Psalm 28, I'm going to read the first 2 verses, and then I'm going to jump down to verse 6 and read 6 through 9. To you, O Lord, I call my rock. Do not refuse to hear me, for if you are silent to me, I shall be like those who go down to the pit. Hear my voice and my supplication as I cry to you for help, as I lift up my hands toward your most holy sanctuary. Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the sound of my pleadings. The Lord is my strength and my shield. In him my heart trusts. So I am helped, and my heart exults. And with my song I give thanks to him. The Lord is the strength of his people. He is the saving refuge of his anointed. O save your people and bless your heritage. Be their shepherd and carry them forever. Now, in this prayer for help, what we see in the beginning is that the psalmist is crying out, Lord, please do not basically turn your back on me. Please don't ignore me. Don't refuse to hear me, he says. Because if you are silent to me, that means that I will go down to the pit like those who have not honored you, those who have not followed you, those who have not recognized you as their personal Lord and Savior. Meaning God has turned God's back on him. But then he says, please hear my voice of supplication. And the word supplication means to humbly ask or cry out with a contrite heart, a contrite mind and spirit, a humble mind and heart and spirit. Hear my voice of supplication as I cry to you, as I lift up my hands toward your most holy sanctuary. He is crying out. He is in desperate need of help. And then later on in the chapter, he's rejoicing because God has blessed him. Literally, God has heard his prayers. Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the sound of my pleadings. And then he describes what God is to him in his life. The Lord is my strength and my shield. The Lord is my strength and my shield. And those are two very important qualities. This is what we who are believers, who are followers of Christ, this is what we receive from God when we turn our lives over to him. We receive strength. We receive strength that allows us to stand up. Just stand up when we've been kicked down, when we've been kicked in the gut, and we just want to stay down. God gives us that inner strength to stand up, to stand up. It's that same strength that allows us, once we've stood up, to take a step and to take another breath and to know that we can get through whatever life throws at us. And my shield. The word shield, protection, means protection. God is protecting us. But it also, in biblical times back then, it was also used to mean empowerment. God empowers us. So God literally protects us, and as God protects us, as a result of God's protection around us, we are empowered then to go live the life that God has chosen for us to live, and the life that God wills for us to live, which is a life that reflects the image of Christ. In him, my heart trusts. This is it. This is it. This is the crux of it right here. To trust in the Lord. To place all our faith, our hope, and our trust that God is our strength, that God is our shield and will protect us and empower us to go live the life God has chosen for us to live. And so he is helped. The psalmist is helped, and his heart exults. And then in the closing verses 8 and 9, the psalmist takes this from an individual prayer and actually incorporates the whole community of believers by saying, the Lord is the strength of his people. He is the saving refuge of his anointed. Think about that word refuge. Seeking refuge in the storm is a familiar term to us, right? Refuge is a place of peace, a place where we can go and recharge our batteries, and we can regroup, and we can literally find that strength that we need to continue moving on, to get up, and to take the next step, and to take the next breath after something has hit us and knocked us down. So God is our strength. God is our shield who protects us and empowers us. And God is our refuge who provides a safe place of healing and rest and comfort that we might recharge our lives. Oh, save your people and bless your heritage. Be their shepherd and carry them forever. And that is exactly what God has promised to do. God promises to carry you forever, through thick or thin, through high or low. So as we're going through this coronavirus, and we're going through this government-issued time of quarantine and separation and isolation, I know it's hard. I've been watching a lot of funny posts on Facebook about how people are dealing with having to stay home and indoors and that kind of thing, and they're really quite entertaining. But I also know there's something underlying there, and that is that we're not used to this. And we are always, it's our human nature to be afraid of the unknown. And that's what we're going through right now. So if you're having trepidations and fears about what's going on right now, are we going to have a new norm? Or will we get back to the old normalcy of our lives? I don't know. Only God knows that right now. But I do know one thing. Whether we get back to the old normalcy of our lives, or we now from this point on live in a new normalcy, God is there with us. Take heart in that. Trust in that, as the psalmist did. trust that God is your strength, that God is your shield and your empowerment and your refuge. Have a great day. Bye-bye.